KRBE, a Cumulus media station.
Good morning, everyone.
We ready?
Live from the TXU Energy Studio.
The Roula and Ryan Show with Eric, featuring Special K and Sam.
All right, my friends, it is Tuesday. It is Try It Tuesday. It is True Crime Tuesday. It is Birthday Tuesday for me.
Taco Tuesday. I saw tacos
Taco
in
Tuesday.
Oh, my goodness.
I got yummy birthday cake Tuesday. I got all the fun gifts. And coming up today, we already have given away Morgan Wallen tickets. We've got Wild West Brewfest tickets to give you as we are jumping in to talk about this. But I also want you to get ready for True Crime Tuesday after this. It's where you call us and tell us how you were either directly connected to a crime, maybe you were the one that committed the crime, and now you know the error of your ways.
Maybe you served time.
Paid your debt to society.
And you can tell us about that. What's that like?
True Crime Tuesday. You never know what kind of stories you're going to get. But let's focus on beer. It is the Rotary Club of Katy presenting the 2025 Wild West Brewfest at Typhoon, Texas. And before we get into the details, let's make it official.
It's Try It Tuesday on the Roula Ryan Show. It could be super weird, it could be super gross.
But it's not.
We'll take it to the face. Grab a garbage just in case. Just try it. Just try it.
KRBE.
Yay! Try It Tuesday! It's everyone's gonna get a beer. Let's have a beer for my birthday. We want to welcome.
Yeah, we could do something gross on your birthday.
No, we have to do something yummy.
Yeah.
Cherie and Ralph are here. Hi guys, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
So this
Welcome
is
back, Ralph. It's
Good
to see you, brother.
I was
Good to
gonna
be
say,
here. Once a year
not
we
your
see
first
you.
time.
And you bring beer. I love it.
You do.
Best kind of friend. I don't have to see you too much, and you bring booze when I do see you.
How many years, guys, has this been going on as an event?
Gosh, this is our 14th event.
Wow.
And so we've been doing it for 13 years. We had one event that was twice. It was double. Why not have it twice in 1 year? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Like that.
13 years.
So the 2025 Wild West Brewfest is happening at Typhoon, Texas. It's really a 3-day event. Saturday is when all the breweries are going to be there, which is March 29th. You can go to their website, very easy to find, wildwestbrewfest.com, and you get all the information of what's happening, because on Thursday, there's free admission 6 to 9. Friday is the launch party. Saturday is the Wild West Brewfest, and it goes until what time, guys? 8 o'clock?
So
9
on
o'clock?
Friday, we'll end at about 9.
Well,
and
Saturday.
then Saturday, we'll end at 8.
8, okay.
But start at 2.
Now, tell me how this works. Is it I'm a brewer in the Houston or area or Texas, and I am going to have a vendor booth there, and everyone can sample the beer? Like, once I buy a ticket to get in,
how's
I
it
can
work?
sample all the beer? How does it look when you
You
get in
pick
there?
so many, you get so many tickets.
No, so you're going to have a ticket, and when you come in, you're going to have your cup. And so the brewer's going to be accustomed to folks like, give me that. Give me that. And cups coming right at them. And so, you'll be able to taste, at least 400 or 500 different beers at
Lord.
one place.
That's
so the cool
amazing.
thing is you get to come in there with a plan, like, what do I want to try?
Yeah.
What do I want to figure out I like or don't like? You get to try it all at one spot.
That's
pretty cool.
awesome. And are there food vendors there too? Because I'm going to have to eat something if I'm going to try 500 beers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so please come with a plan. Don't do 500. I mean, if you did 425, you'd be all right, but don't do 500. And so we will have
427.
food vendors, and you'll have foods that are salty. You'll have some that are fried, of course, and you'll have some that are sweet.
Beer food.
Beer
Cherie,
food.
what's your...
we also have a wine grotto, too. So if you're not a beer drinker, that's okay. We got you covered.
It's maybe your-
HEB wine grotto.
Maybe your
Oh,
spouse
nice.
likes it, or your husband likes
Yeah.
beer, and you don't like beer.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you find people walk in there like they're like beer snobs, or like the ones that just love beer? They know everything about it. The
hops.
People
This is
dress
really
up for
hoppy.
this, Eric.
This is hoppy.
That's I figured there's gonna be some people.
Sam has an outfit where she is a Pilsner glass.
Sam, you used
Right.
to you go to this a
with
lot.
foam.
I loved it. Yeah, and you can.
Did you notice that?
Fun thing to do also when you're going to these if you go to Wild West Brewfest, is you wear this necklace that has pretzels around it.
Yep.
And then it is a whole
Do you
event,
buy it
y'all.
there,
No,
Sam?
you make them.
What?
I should actually open up a booth and
You just eat
share
on 'em?
pretzel
And
shed.
just
so you
snack on the pretzels?
You snack on the pretzels while
Like when
you're
we were
trying
kids,
out
we had
these
the candy
different
necklace?
beers. Exactly. Picture that, but with pretzels,
Hilarious.
and it helps enjoy the
Yeah, of
beer
course, of
it
course.
rinses out your mouth and
Yeah.
it's salty.
It's carbs. It's
salty.
carbs.
It's salty. It's carbs.
It's like a palate
It is
cleanser.
amazing. But
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah, Wild West Brewfest. I went last year with my husband and my toddler. It was fine.
Yeah.
And I had so much fun. You guys were not joking about the different beer choices and how everybody is so welcoming. Like, it doesn't matter if you're just new into this. Even if you don't like beer, they're like, hey, what flavors do you like? And they really go through that part like that.
So you kind of learn.
Try and find something for your
You
palate.
learn
learn,
too from people.
absolutely.
Well, we have VIP access
Yeah.
to the Hop House. What's the Hop House, guys?
So the Hop House is just it's our VIP.
Okay.
So, we're just trying to play off the name, that you have hops and grains in water.
Oh, like
And
the grain house over there.
There you go. There you
It's a
go.
happening
You go to the grain
place.
house.
I heard greenhouse. I think more like whiskey or.
No, it was like a tent last year, right?
And it will be a tent again this year. It'll be even bigger than last year.
Oh,
So
wow.
it'll have, beers in there. We'll have food vendors in there. You'll have bands in there. VIP is what's happening.
Well, that's
Yes.
what we're giving
yeah.
away,
Yeah.
my friends. It is the 2025 Wild West Brew Fest at Typhoon, Texas. We're going to try some beer here in a second, but let me give this away to one lucky listener. It's my birthday. Here's another gift for you guys. 2 VIP tickets get you early access to the event and
man.
VIP access to Hop House. Caller 18 again, because it says March 18. Caller
love it,
18,
Nice.
833-390-KRBE. You are on your way, and it is happening this week. It starts on not this weekend, on the 27th, 28th, and 29th. So the 27th is Thursday, then the Friday night, but then the big event is on Saturday.
Are there
the
any
29th.
TVs around there, like in the VIP or areas? Because like basketball, March Madness and stuff.
And so there's a big screen that they actually have at the park. And so usually what we have is they have a huge screen across their water. It's at a water park.
Oh, yeah,
And across their wave pool, they have a huge screen, and so we'll have the game on
Yeah, 'cause I
there.
just know how especially with
Dude, I'm
Cougars
there.
and Texas Tech.
Yeah,
there's
You
all
see a
kinds
bunch
there.
of men just sitting in the corners with their phones
Look,
sideways.
let's sit in the wave pool.
And you guys are
Those turn it
I know,
on.
right? And you guys are doing something great. This is not just all about drinking beer. Since its inception, I'm reading here that Wild West Brewfest has raised and donated over $1.45 million to various charities.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, Cherie. Thank you.
We're going to have a live auction on the Friday night.
Okay.
So we'll have some fun trips and some signed memorabilia and stuff to give away. And we also have a silent auction house with raffles. So
Okay, nice.
it's just another way to make money.
A lot going on.
All right. Well,
and
you
we
guys
always
are
like
dressed
to,
for
if
it.
you don't mind, we always like to figure out, what opportunity can we provide for, kids or our community, figure out what that desire is,
Mm-hmm.
and then figure out how we remove the financial constraints from it.
That's perfect. Now, give me some beer. What you got?
Yeah, what'd you bring this year?
This year we have some good stuff. I'm going to start you off pretty light. We're going to do a Rattler.
A rattler.
And so this one is going to be Stiegel, and it is a Pilsner with grapefruit, which you will find. And what I want you to imagine,
Okay.
okay? I'm outside. I just cut the grass. I've been laying out on the pool, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, man, what should I have to drink? I got it here for you.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's
all
try
have a
it. Here we
sample of
go.
that. It's
Wait,
called-
wait. Is there any better sound than that?
No.
Nice cold.
Wow, Kevin's really excited.
I know.
I am
Okay.
so sorry.
Here you
don't know
go.
how
Here you
that
go. I'm
came
passing
up.
it down. And it's
Hey,
called
Ahmad, you missed it.
Stiegel, you said, is the
He's
brand.
grabbing a winner. You
Stiegel.
can just pass
Or
it
Ahmad.
off.
Ahmad, get the winner
Stiegel.
quick. We're pouring
Yeah.
some beer.
They're pouring beer.
It's like, I can smell the grapefruit notes for
Can you?
sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, we'll do
can.
that for a
Wow.
month.
And again, if you're just tuning in to the Roula and Ryan show with Eric, we're talking about the KD Wild West Brew Fest,
Oh,
but they
my.
also have the Wine Grotto from HEB. So there's wine and beer to enjoy. Oh my God,
Oh,
I
wow.
definitely smell the grapefruit strong.
That
Let's
is
have some.
refreshing.
Again,
You're right.
we're-
After
Super
mowing
refreshing.
Right after
or
Mo,
watching my.
Oh my God, this
friend
is
Bo.
dangerous.
It's a breakfast beer.
Sam, I am so sorry you're pregnant
I
right
just
now
smelled
because
it.
this
I'm, like,
is
drooling over here.
amazing. Where would I ever find this to buy it?
What's the brewer?
Ralph?
brewer
So
on
the
this one?
brewer is out of Germany, and it's Stiegel, Stiegel, and it's called
Rattler.
the Rattler
Could
Grapefruit.
you probably get this
Y'all
like Total
are
Wine or
delicious.
Specs or something?
You can go to Total Wine or Specs.
They have
you
like-
may find it at HEB occasionally, but great beer.
Oh
I'm,
my God,
I'm going
y'all,
to Germany
yes.
this summer. I'm going to find this.
Yes.
You know,
God, you have to go to the brewery.
Does everybody give this one a thumbs up? I am totally giving this one. I'm going to have another glass, but I got to
That's
hold
good.
on and slow my roll. What's the next one, Ralph? What's
The
the
next one is by Sierra Nevada, and this is their
Yes.
East Coast
classic.
Haze, West Coast flavor.
Oh.
Wait,
So
here
this is,
comes the sound. Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh, it already opened.
Sierra Nevada is a beer on the West Coast, right?
Yes, they are in California.
Yeah. They have another.
They have a lot of stuff. They've been around for a long time. They were probably one of the first folks that did some of those craftier flavors.
craftier beers.
Okay, the smell I'm getting from this one is not grapefruit. What is
No.
the note I'm smelling?
Oh, this
for,
is the hoppy.
It
This
smells
it
like-
smells real
yeah.
hoppy.
It smells like beer.
Feels like beer to me.
It's beer.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Yeah.
kind of like beer, so you're going to get a couple of notes that may be somewhat tropical to you. You're going to get some of that piney resin off of it, but it's going to be an easy to drink beer. Now, is it the Rattler? No.
It's not the right
Yeah.
one.
But again, this is a
But it's
different
beer.
taste for a different day.
Yeah.
And it is
exactly
hazy.
right.
Like the Rattler, you could see through it, whereas this one, it's hazier.
Yeah.
It has particular.
The Rattler is more refreshing.
Sheree, what do you
Yeah.
think?
I like the first one.
That one's like an easy sipper. Where
This
this one's
very
like
easy.
this one's like a beer.
If I had this one
IPA.
first, I'd be like, oh, okay, this is great. And then I go to the Rattler and go, oh my God, what have I found?
I think Kevin and Sam, I could see, would like
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
one.
this is a
definitely.
Sam and Kevin beer,
Yeah,
right, for sure.
Sam would get a whole keg of this one at her house.
Oh, yeah.
Which she does have
Because this
a
is an
keg.
IPA, right?
I have a
This is an
kegerator. Y'all
IPA.
sell
Yeah.
And it's an East Coast, West Coast kind of vibe to
You
it.
want to hit me some more of that Rattler over there? It's my birthday. It's my birthday. I get to finish that can.
And so the cool thing about the Rattler, only 2.5%.
Oh, really nice.
That's
That's why I
good.
like it.
Yeah,
And it's
so-
not Rattler like a snake. It's Radler.
You got it.
Rattler, Grapefruit,
Oh.
Stiegel.
I thought it was Rattler.
I thought it was the snag.
Like it's going to bite me later on.
Rattler.
It may if you drink too much.
Well,
have to- do you
Ralph
have
and
any more?
Sheree,
Are we
thank you
good?
so much. Are
Oh,
we
thank
good?
you.
We have
No.
probably more beer in the hallway, but
'Cause I'm like,
if we keep drinking, I won't be able to do whatever we're
I know,
doing.
we still got half the show left.
What are we doing? I got
True crime.
birthday cake and beer over here.
Tacos.
We're supposed to actually keep working right now. This is we are supposed to be
Oh, Mike's
professionals.
Mike's aren't on
Is this
yet.
on? Okay, so Rotary Club of Katy, it's the 2025 Wild West Brewfest, Typhoon, Texas. It is happening Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday, March 29 is where the actual Brewfest is happening, and the wine, what do we call it? Wine Grotto?
Wine Grotto.
Yeah.
Wine Grotto from HEB. Thanks so much, Sheree and Ralph, for telling us all about it and bringing in the VIP access for our
That
listeners.
beer is nice and cold, too.
Thank you.
Great
Thank
job.
you. I tried.
That
Yeah,
nice
I tried.
cold beer was, I'm going to
Nothing better
just
than
keep
a cold
on with
beer.
this. I think I might, you can leave that can behind.
Yeah, sure.
I know.
You
Take
want
a
a pack of
picture
that?
of it so when you go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's what
you
I
can find
always
it.
do. Like when you go to Wild West Brewfest, you find a brewery you really like, take a picture.
Yep.
Take a picture of the can, take a picture of the
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
so
That
fast.
was. We need to go.
He's enjoyment. He
I just
enjoyed
want to
that
let my
one.
husband know that was not me.
Oh my God, this is delicious.
We'll take a photo of the can and put it under
I for
Instagram.
sure am, and I'm also going to sneak
Radio
that
Rula,
can
put
over
a photo
here.
with you
At Radio Rula, here's my birthday beer. This is my first little
We'll
birthday
put the can with
celebration
you
here.
so people
And
can buy
anybody
it.
calling, we already got the VIP winner. Now you have to go buy those tickets. So anybody that's calling right now, we already have our VIP winner.
Come join,
for
have some fun.
Wild West
Let me
Brewfest.
just keep
It's not
on.
this weekend. It's the following weekend. All right.
Yes.
Look at me
Kevin
serving
Quinn, I think, will
myself
be,
the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
Kevin-
think she likes it.
Oh, man, she does like it.
I love this beer, and I'm usually not a beer person. Oh, hello, birthday girl.
And I will have that on draft in the VIP.
Bam! There you go.
We'll see you there, Ralph and Sheree. Thank you so much. Leave everything you came with at the door, and have a great day. All right, coming up next, let's get into pro mode. Let me go back to pro mode. Hold on. True Crime Tuesday is next, guys. 833-390-KRBE. We have heard some really unbelievable stories. Almost like Believe It or Not. It's unbelievable but true. But if you've been connected to a crime in some way, we want to hear about it. 833-390-KRBE. Maybe, unfortunately, you were the victim of the crime and you survived it. You are the one that was the criminal and
You
you paid
witnessed
your
it?
debt to society. Your debt to society.
We've had many people date serial killers, and they're
For
like,
sure.
that could have been me.
Could have been me. So we'll see what we get next. This segment can only be as good.
And it
as
doesn't have
the
to be serial
calls that
killers. It
come
could be
through.
anything. It's crime
anything.
stuff. It could be
Yeah.
anything.
Identity theft.
Yeah.
Is that sexy enough for you, Eric?
I mean, it's not sexy, but I'll take it.
It's the Rule and Ryan Show with Eric on 104.1 KRBE, and it's time for True Crime Tuesday at 833-390-KRBE. We started doing this a while back, and we just thought, you know what, we have a lot of crazy stories in the Houston area. Everybody has something they've been connected to. We put spotlights on big stories, and I wonder what people would tell us if we opened the lines.
And there's people that also have committed crimes that have called in. We don't get that as much. I'd say that's probably like 4% of calls where they've, they paid their debt to society. They did their time and they're out there now and they just want to tell what happened. That's always interesting to hear
like
that too.
the first call we have, Eric.
Oh, we have that?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I feel like we only had that maybe when we first.
As I'm saying, it's like a small
started.
percentage.
First caller out of the box.
Are they using their real name?
Is a thief. Let's not ask that. But the name that I am going with is Lachlan. Hello, Lachlan. Welcome to the Rule and Ryan Show with Eric. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey there.
Good morning.
So you are
Hi.
the criminal, and I'm going to hope that you are calling us after you've paid your debt to society, or have you not been caught yet?
No, I've paid my debt for sure.
All right.
For sure.
Tell us what you did, Lachlan.
So I worked at a dealer right after Katrina. I worked at a large Houston car dealership here in Houston.
Uh-huh.
And so I ended up stealing 34 cars off this dealership lot.
Oh, what?
First of all, okay, take us through that. How do you even
34 cars.
Do you have keys and you start them? Or how do you do this?
Well, so what I did is I had a guy come in one day and he wanted to test drive a large SUV. And he said, and I was really busy at the time. I was one of the top salesmen there. And I was like, hey, take it on a test drive, come back, let me know what you think. Hand him the keys. And he goes, what happens if I don't come back? And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, let's just say I decide to go to lunch and I don't come back.
Oh, my God.
And I said, what do you think is going to happen? And the guy literally reached into this bag and pulled out like $5,000 cash, laid on the desk and goes, do you have to report it now?
Oh my
and
God.
I just looked at him and he started pulling out more money. He gave me $8,000 and I said, I just looked at him and I was like, nah, I probably won't report it then. And, he took off with it. A few days later, he called me, came back by, and he's like, you want to make some real money?
Oh
and I was like, what are you talking about? And, he started pulling out cash, like bundles of cash.
Hold up. Let me pause there for a second.
What?
After the first take, you took the cash and you thought maybe you'll never see this guy again. What is the echelon of power in the dealership, like where they would have seen the car is missed?
Like, do you have to report it then? Like after 4 hours,
right?
You have to wait, or you have to wait a day, or did
who's keeping tabs on the guy who took the test drive, and how do they know it's not missing?
So we had a program where, if you bought a car, you would come in, you could, like, if your car was in service or whatever, we'd give you a loaner car. And it got so let me tell you, this was so out of control that they did, at times, we'd have to fill out what was called a bailment. But at times, people were so busy, they wouldn't fill out the bailment. And, or they would get them and put them to the side and they would lose them. So
got lost.
I never reported it. And so at the end, I just never reported. I never thought I'd hear from the guy again, but I did.
And he came back. How many days later? How many days later did he show up again for the next one?
It was like 2 or 3 days later he came back, but he wanted more than one.
He wanted more than one? That is bold.
Oh.
So he already bought you for $8,000 to steal a car, and now he's coming back for what? 2 cars, or how many did he want?
This guy had a transport truck sitting at the airport.
Holy cow.
My God. This is like the movie Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, yeah. So So Lachlan, how many cars did you let him get? I mean, how much did he pay you, and how many cars did you give him that time?
34 total?
Well, I know, but in that second visit, how many did he get?
6. I gave him 6 that time. I went, and I went in there. I went into the key room because I had access to the key room. We had a young girl working in the key room. She was probably like 19, 20. She didn't care. She was always, nobody.
Right.
I
Why
get
would
it.
I
Here's
guess
the
that you're not doing it? Yeah.
We'd get the keys out of the books, that they would never know. And then I would just, like, hey, I'm going on a test drive. Or I'm going. I mean, we were such a volume dealership. You could drive off the lot and do whatever you wanted during the day in a car, and they didn't care.
How much were you getting?
Drive around the corner, and
you said 34 cars. So how many out of 34 cars? How much did you get?
How much did you make for those 34 cars?
I probably made about. I probably made over. I made over 150,000.
Whoa!
And how did you get caught?
So how did you get caught? Yeah. What was the end game here?
So,
you said you already paid your debt to society. Tell us about that part.
It was, like I said, this was 2005, so it was 2 years later. I wasn't working at the dealership anymore, and actually, so I wasn't working at the dealership anymore, and I was driving my kid to school one morning, and on the way back, the FBI, Secret Service, Houston Police, everybody stopped me. Like they came out of nowhere.
And your kid was in the car or no?
No, I just dropped him off at school.
At least your kid didn't see that.
Oh my gosh.
So they had been watching me for a few days, and they took me down. They took me downtown, and I got caught for that. And the thing is I went to court. I was going to court for 7 years. I didn't end up getting this case taken care of until 2014. So I went to court 7 years. Yeah, they kept changing DAs. They kept offering me stuff. It was back. I went back and forth for like 7 years. So I didn't get my sentence until.
You couldn't roll on that guy. Like, did they catch that guy?
Yeah, the guy who was giving you the money, who was buying all the cars, buying you for the cars.
The guy that initially, like, so I was going through this whole court deal. That guy died.
Oh
so my God! So you couldn't pin it on that guy. What was your sentencing? What'd they give you?
They gave me 20 years.
Oh my God!
It was like the cars added up to like $1.6 million.
So it's
Now, hold
grand.
up.
That's grand larceny.
Let's do the math.
Yeah.
In 2014 is finally when you got your court case, but it's 2025 and you're calling our show. You're already out. So how much did you serve? Did you serve any time?
Yeah, I did a little over. I did right around 3 years on it.
Whoa.
And how were you able to circumvent the 20-year sentence that you had mentioned?
Plea bargain or something, or
Well, so I went in there and I did it's called pre-sentence investigation, where they do sort of deal and they recommend probation or whatever, and then the judge, the dealership owner, had made this scathing statement towards me and basically wished me dead. So judge hit me with the book, 20 years, and then when I went in there, I hired a parole attorney, and so I made parole on that.
Wow.
where did you serve
Time.
time at? Was it in Texas, or did you go? They take you somewhere else? I'm sorry.
Yes, it was in Texas.
Do you regret your decision getting messed up with,
Yeah.
messed with this guy? Or are you just like, oh, it's just part of my life and I had some money, I had fun, and now,
I paid my 3 years.
yeah.
But
Was it worth it?
of course,
Was
I
it worth
regret
it?
it. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, you got caught.
it wasn't worth it. But I mean, I turned my life around. Definitely, I was able to get into a whole new career field, make really good money. I got a really good family. So
Good.
Well, Lachlan, here's what I'm interested in. A lot of people listen to our show, and a lot of them work and own car dealerships. And I wonder if this was something in your industry when all this got blown up in 2007, 2014. Like, is this something that, I don't know if you know the answer to this. Is this something that within your industry, everyone's like, holy crap, wait. This could actually happen to us.
happened,
Look out for this.
it happens
Or
a lot.
the
Yeah.
key room
Like,
is now
everybody
more
knows
guarded.
about this,
Or
right.
do you think that stipulations were put in place because of this scam that you ran to steal 34 cars?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're going to be more
That was
careful about who's
then.
giving out the keys.
What was it like in the 90s and 80s when the technology was not there?
absolutely.
Yeah, you had to write on paper what car is going
Like whenever
out.
I go to get a car or test drive, I have to give my license.
Yeah, and you show your insurance and do all that stuff.
This was a crazy
Dude,
story.
I
Lachlan,
can
you
tell you
brought
that.
it.
I can tell you that they definitely made changes at probably every single dealership in Houston
Because of this.
after this.
Wow, that's really
And is
something.
just real quick, we only got like a minute. Prison, was it the scariest day of your life going in that first 2 days, first week?
That's
or?
Eric's nightmare, by the way.
Yeah,
he
'cause
has a lot of anxiety about going to prison.
Yeah, I don't do anything, but I'm just scared
I know,
to death
it's
of
like
ever
terrible.
going
What
to
was the
prison.
scariest part of your sentence? The first day, the middle days, or the last day? Like, what was that like?
Probably right at first because you don't know what's going to happen. But then once you're there, it's not as bad. But yeah.
You gotta
Because
get.
they have like consultants nowadays you can talk to, and they'll tell you what to expect.
We had him on our show for
Prison
P. Diddy.
Yep, the PD
Wow.
guy, man.
Well, Lachlan,
Well, you're nonviolent crime, so when you first get in there, I mean, they guys around to tell you what to expect. So
and somebody wants to know, like, what kind of line of work are you in now? Are you still in the car world, or you doing like data processing? Like, what do you do now?
Yeah,
I went to the oil field, so I make really good money. Yep.
Wow.
landman.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes it
Wow.
Okay. Wow and
Well,
wow.
thanks for-
Lachlan, thank you so much for sharing your story.
We don't have time for anyone else, guys.
That's it. That was great. Lachlan brought it, baby.
Oh, man.
Insane.
Lachlan brought it, baby. Thank
Thanks,
you, Lachlan.
for
Have a great day.
I'm glad you changed.
Yes.
Yeah, for
life.
sure.
Glad you
That
know
was
better. And he changed the industry on how they can keep their inventory. One person says
That was
local
wild.
local prosecutor here on text, just so everyone knows, no one, all in caps, does their full sentence. Serious violent crimes and habitual offenders have to serve at least half, but they don't usually
Yeah,
do
we
the whole
learned that
thing.
yesterday when you told us about.
And you know what? There's good reason
Yeah.
to bring it up again because
serial killer.
the pre-order for Apple TV came out yesterday.
We
So I
talk
want to
about
talk
that.
about this coming up next. Something you can get on Apple TV is directly connected to Houston with a really terrible crime that really ended up setting off this entire savior crusade. Maybe me and Sam, my sisters, our friends are safer because of the chain of events of what happened yesterday we were talking about. I'll bring it back up again next in Scoop on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
From the Bell Furniture Unbeatable Bell Prices traffic desk, 610 West Loop northbound at San Felipe. There's a wreck being cleared. There's still about 15 minutes of stop and go. West Sam Houston Tollway northbound at the I-10 Katy Freeway. You've got a crash at the off-ramp. 610 north.
on the Roula and Ryan Show with Eric.
104.1 KRBE.
It's brought to you by Taqueria Sarandas, and today's my birthday, but I've been giving you guys the gifts. Oh, yeah. That was Post Malone and Morgan Wallen. We started off with those tickets. Then we had VIP tickets to Wild West Brewfest. Now we've got tickets for Jimmy O. Yang. He's going to be at the Smart Financial Center on March the 28th. You can get your tickets online at smartfinancialcentre.net. I got to say Centre because that's how they spell it on their website.
He's one of those people that if you see his face, you'll be like, oh, yeah, I know who he is. I've seen him in lots of TV shows. He had a Netflix TV show, stand-up special, Crazy Rich Asians he was in, Silicon Valley he was in that. He always smoked a lot. He was so silly. And that's why I first met him because I didn't know he spoke English.
Oh, really?
Because of the first episodes on that show. I'm like, oh, man, this guy's hilarious.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, guess what? Somebody lucky's going to get this. If you're caller 18, because today's March 18, caller 18, 833-390-KRBE. You got those tickets for free. We just did True Crime Tuesday. If you missed that, you caught the tail end because somebody did catch the tail end. They go, wait, what did I just miss? You know, we podcast our show after the show. So you're going to go to the 8 o'clock hour of the Best of Roula and Ryan Show with Eric podcast. And then you're just going to see it all play out here, how a man who used to work at a car dealership was able to steal 34 cars right under their noses. Now they've changed the rules of how that possibility.
That's like one of those. What would you do, guy? What's that guy's
John
name?
Quinones.
Like
What would you do if nobody came after you for this car?
A briefcase of $10,000. Would you do something bad?
Mm-hmm. I hope that never gets asked upon me.
Yeah, because he was offered $8,000.
What situation are you in?
I'm like, diapers are real expensive, y'all.
I wear them. And so
the cameras are missing in here.
Yeah,
what happened?
I don't know.
So we were talking about True Crime Tuesday, and somebody who works in law said, "Hey, just so you know." And what was that person? They said, what kind of attorney were they? I'm trying to find that text. We got so many.
Local prosecutor. Local
prosecutor here says most people do not serve their full sentence. Mm-hmm. Now, there's different reasons for different things, but yesterday at this time I was talking about exactly that. I was talking about the murder of Elena Samander. This movie is coming out. It's pre-order on Apple TV Plus right now. If you go to theemptychairmovie.com, she is a Houston girl from a Houston family and actually closely connected to my community. Her family was a church family of mine. And she was murdered in the 80s by a man who was a serial killer. But at the time, they did not know that a serial killer had murdered her. Then he ended up being connected to up to 80 different women's murders, but they were only able to really connect him, like to convict him wise. I believe it was like 13 or 14. And so for an entire lifetime from Elena's death, her mother Harriet's mission was to keep this man behind bars. And it really started off something with our show here. When our show started in 2003, Joanna Samander, Elena's little sister, had come to me to say, Roula, you know, we're trying to keep this murderer behind bars and we have to get letters to the parole board to prove why he shouldn't be released. He was set to be the first serial killer in the history of the United States to walk out of jail no problem and just walk the streets. And he said the day he went in, the day I get out, I'm doing this again. So Harriet Samander's entire mission was to keep Coral Eugene Watts in prison. She probably saved thousands of girls like me and you, Sam, from him. Mm-hmm. And all of these victims' families that she met over the years of the other girls he murdered, the way he ended up dying in prison is because not only did Harriet Samander keep him in jail 5 different times, 5 different times he got for parole, they kept him in jail. There was a cold case in Michigan that he got connected to, and that sentencing ended up keeping him in jail, life in prison there, and he died in prison from prostate cancer. So
the only time I was happy about cancer was
exactly.
When that piece of crap got it.
So there's a story called theemptychairmovie.com. Go to that on Instagram too, Empty Chair Movie. And the pre-order is on Apple TV right now. It's supposed to come out on Friday. And it's really fantastic. It's an 8-episode series that they're hoping to get picked up because they've done the first episode. And it's about the life of what happens after somebody in your life is murdered. Because the empty chair that Elena sat at the breakfast table, they just stare at it every day, right? Mm. And it's just like the mission of the mom.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
God, I can't imagine.
And really, and I was saying yesterday, like Harriet Samander, God rest her soul, memory eternal, because she doesn't even know how many women she saved. And I always think, like, as soon as I got the news that Mrs. Samander had passed away at 91 years of age after this major fight to save all these lives and keep this criminal behind bars, I was thinking, my God, what a joyous reunion with her child. You know, she lost her daughter at 19 because the story is Elena went to her boyfriend's apartment. This is when they didn't have cell phones. It was the 80s. And she didn't make it because in the parking lot, Coral Eugene Watts was on Richmond. You know where that 24-hour fitness is and the Smash Burger and the TJ Maxx at Richmond and 610?
Yes.
So that used to be like a club strip
City
there.
Streets.
Yeah.
That's where City Streets was. In the 80s, it was, I don't know what club it was, but that's, if I don't have the location wrong, I remember it was that. She was going one direction. Coral Eugene Watts was going the other direction. He saw her at the light, and he U-turned and he followed her, and she didn't know she was being followed. So when she got to the apartment complex parking lot,
Never made it.
she never made it because he was right there at the door when she opened the door, and he killed her. So it just set up this whole chain of events and all these things. And March 1st is Harriet Samander Day here in Houston because you just bow down to this woman for just the effort. Her entire life turned into this mission to keep him behind bars. And we've helped so many other families. And here's another crazy connection. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Another family that came to us because of the Samander story is the Elledge family. Brandon Elledge was murdered by a classmate. He was on the football team, and it was in the 80s. And back then, you used to have those really cool stereos that you could pop off and hide them so nobody steals them and stuff. Remember how major it was to have awesome stereos in your car?
I had that until a month ago.
Yeah.
Kev's like, it's still cool.
So it was a big deal to have nice truck stereos, car stereos. And so he was on the football team, and it was a boy had asked him for a ride after practice. And, we don't have GPS in the 80s. And this kid had targeted Brendan Elledge because he wanted to steal his car stereo. So he told him, here's where I live. And he ended up leading him into like a field. And he goes, where's your house? And he goes, hey, look at this. And when he looked over, he just shot him in the face and killed him.
Yeah.
So Ben Elledge, the dad, his mission was to keep that guy in jail. And that's how we met Ben Elledge.
First couple of years, we'd have him on KRBE.
Yes, and he called our audience the Roula and Ryan Raiders, because when we would get our audience to write letters to the parole board to keep that murderer in jail, the parole board said, you were on the radio again, weren't you? Because Houston showed up. Then fast forward how many years, Eric? I don't know how many years. I lost my dad in 2013, and where my dad is buried, it is 5 spaces from Brandon Elledge.
Wow. That's right there.
I look at Brandon Elledge's gravesite every time I go see my dad. When I saw the Elledge name, I go, oh my God. Like, I got chills at the cemetery because you don't know who's going to be around your parents when they pass away.
Right.
And there we are on the burial, and I'm like, I know that name. How do I know Elledge's name? Brandon Elledge. His father was in this room. We helped keep his murderer behind bars, and my dad's buried 5 spots away from him. It's really unbelievable. So everything comes full circle. Everything happens for a reason. And Harriet Samander, God rest her soul, I'm so glad you're reunited, not only with your child that Coral Eugene Watts took from you, but all the other children that Coral Eugene Watts took from their parents. And they got to give you a hug to say thank you for fighting for us. So God bless them. That's how True Crime Tuesday brings us so much information. And anyway, it's just really amazing. So thank you so much for listening to that. And if you want to hear it on podcast, yesterday I talked about it more in detail. Our podcast lives all the time at krbe.com or download the app. And I have to pick my gift, but we're running out of time right now. So I'm going to have to do it in the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah, you'll have to do it in the 9 o'clock.
Or an hour later.
I'm supposed to go to the QVC and the HSN and see what my gift is today. All right, but we also have Revenge coming up. What happened on Revenge with the bad neighbors?
Yeah, so after Revenge.
Yeah.
Okay, after Revenge, I'm going to go to the TV and see what's up.
And then you can take off.
That's fine.
Okay.
We had a beer.
I was going to say, or you can do it before Revenge. We'll figure it out.